to the Marley Bird YouTube channel, brought to you by Red Heart Yarns. In this video, I will teach you how to make the corner-to-corner rectangle. You already know how to make the corner-to-corner square, but what if you wanted to make a rectangular blanket? Let me show you how to do that. To complete this technique, all you will need is a crochet hook, some worsted weight yarn, and the chart that I will be using in the video. If you want to follow along with me as I give you instructions, please go ahead and find the link for the chart right down there in the video notes below and have it in front of you. While you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button, as my kids say, so that other people know you enjoyed this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we will be working on today. As you look down here at this chart I drew up, you can see it is a simple rectangle that I divided up with squares inside. This chart represents our corner to corner we will be creating. You begin reading the chart down in the bottom right hand corner, just like any corner to corner chart that you will read. You will complete the square for square number 1, and then you will begin to work row 2 going on the diagonal, come up to row 3, come down on the diagonal, and then for row 4 we will increase. But when we get down here to the end of the row, we will not have an extra stitch to increase because our squares are the exact same number as row 3. The same thing will happen here on row 5, but because row 5 is shifting in this direction and not out this way, we will have to work a decrease of stitches along this edge. But as we come across, we will add our increase down here at this edge. By the time we get to row 6, we will have decreases at both corners, and then row 7, we will have decreases at both corners as well. So in the course of working through row 4 and row 5, we have to maintain the same number of squares as we had on row 3. And we will do that by increasing squares at one end and decreasing squares at another end. It might sound more difficult than it really is. Once I show you how to do it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I understand. And you'll be able to complete any corner to corner rectangle you wanna do. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm using a 6mm hook today and some worsted weight yarn. You will begin by placing a slip knot directly onto your hook. If you need detailed instructions for any of the stitches I use in today's video, please go ahead and check out the Marley Bird Beginner Basics videos. Let's start off by doing our chain 6. This chain 6 represents the beginning of our square. We will work a half double crochet into the 4th chain from hook, and then we will place a half double crochet in each of the next 2 chains. Once we've completed that, we have completed our very first square. So this represents our very first square. So if I wanted to mark that off in our chart, I could go ahead and mark off that square as complete. As we read our chart, we would follow along and we would come back down here and read our chart going this direction. On all the even rows, you read the chart going from the bottom to the top. On all the odd rows, you read the chart from the top going to the bottom. For the first square of row 2, you will turn your work. And this once again represents a full square we will be completing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will do a half double crochet in the 4th chain from hook. And then a half double crochet in the next 2 chains. So we've just completed another square. See that? So that is our increase square, and we can mark that off right here. We've just completed that square. And now it's time to complete this square. Well, to get over there to that position, we need to go ahead, skip all of these stitches, and come all the way over here to this chain 3 section. Go into the chain 3 section and do a single crochet. And then work 3 chains, and then 3 half double crochets all around the chain 3s of that other square. And that will complete our second square of row 2. So we can mark that off. So far, so good. It's very similar to how you would do a square corner to corner, correct? So as I move along, I go on to my row 3, and row 3 also has an increase. So we would begin by turning our work, chaining 3, 4, 5, 6, work a half double crochet into the 4th chain from hook, and then a half double crochet in the next 2 chains. So there's 1 and 2. And then we will skip all of these stitches, working all the way over here to this chain 3 section. Do a single crochet, chain 3, do a half double crochet 3 times into the chain 3 space. Once we've done that, we have to get 1 more square. So we skip all of these stitches, come over here to this chain 3 section, do a single crochet, chain 3, and then place 3 half double crochets all around that chain 3 spot. Pretty simple, very easy, very basic, correct? So we have just done our 3 squares for our row 3. So I am going to mark those off as well. And from row 3, we go around and we continue to read for row 4. Now, row 4, we are still increasing out. We aren't cutting in yet. So we will begin by increasing out. But when we get to the end of the row, we will not complete another square out here at this end. We will maintain 3 squares. Let me show you how to do that. As we start off, we will turn our work, chain 6, work a half double crochet in the 4th chain from hook, just like we've been doing all along. A half double crochet in the next chain, a half double crochet in the next chain, skip these 3 chains, or skip these 3 stitches, do a single crochet in the next chain, 3 space, chain 3, and then place 3 half double crochets into that chain 3 space. Same old, this is what we've been doing. Skip these stitches, come over here to this chain 3 space, do a single crochet, chain 3, work 3 half double crochets, all into that chain 3 space. And right here, if we wanted to increase and continue on doing our increases like we've been doing, what we would have done is come over here and do a single crochet into this chain 3 space, and then build another square. But we don't need another square, right? We only need these 3 squares. So what we will do is just a simple slip stitch right here to this chain 3 space to make it joined. So we are left with 3 squares for our row 4, which is perfect. So we've completed that one, was our first one with our increase. And then we just maintained status quo for those next 2. Now, as we circle around and come to this direction, we are going to have to work a decrease because we are no longer increasing stitches. So this will be our first time that we actually work a decrease to an edge of our work, but we will not be decreasing the number of squares. We will still maintain our 3 squares for this row. Let me show you what I mean. What we need to do here is I will turn my work, and we want to begin doing our 3 squares right here. So I will do slip stitches into each stitch over to my chain 3 space. Once I get to my chain 3 space, I begin to work my square. So I do a single crochet, chain 3, and then work my half doubles into my chain 3 space, just like before. So that represents this square I just finished, represents my first square of row 5. Once I move along, I skip all of these stitches, come over to the next chain 3 space, do a single crochet, chain 3, do my 3 half doubles into my chain 3 space, and then I have to come over here and I'm going to come to this chain 3 space. Now, in the previous row, I didn't work any stitches there, correct? Because I didn't want to increase a square. Well, if we decreased a square over on this end and we want to maintain our number of stitches, we have to increase a square over at this end. So this time, when I get to this chain 3 section, I will work a complete square, not just a slip stitch. So I did a single crochet, chain 3, and then work my 3 half doubles into that chain 3 space. And what this will do is it allows me to maintain my 3 squares needed for row 5, and I begin to get my rectangle. So right here represents that square, this square represents that square, and that square represents that square. So now that I finished row 5, it's time for me to move on and go to row 6. On row 6, you'll notice that I am decreasing squares completely. So I'm going from 3 squares down to 2 squares. So just like you did when you did a corner to corner square, you will be decreasing at one end and then also decreasing at the opposite end by not working an extra square on the very last chain 3 section. Let me show you what I mean. Here I am at the end of row 5, so I will go ahead and turn my work. I will place my slip stitches along the stitches at the end of my last square I did on row 5. So I've worked all the way back over here to this chain 3, and I can begin to build my square. So I do my single crochet, chain 3, and then add my 3 half doubles into that chain 3 spot. Do you see the slip stitches are just used as a way to maneuver my yarn over to the position I need it to be in? Now I'll go ahead and skip these stitches over here to this chain 3 space, do a single crochet, chain 3, and then work my 3 half doubles into this space. Now I have my 2 squares completed and I don't need a third, so I will not work another square over here on top of this chain space. I will just do a slip stitch to join it. So now I have my 2 squares right here for my row 6 completed, so I can go ahead and mark each of those off. I come around, I'm reading the chart this direction to get to row 7, and row 7's square is going to be placed right there. So as I turn my work, I will do my slip stitches once again to maneuver my yarn over to the position I need it to be in order to complete what I need to do. So my yarn is here, I'm ready to do my single crochet and then work my square. And just so that we're all on the same page, when I say work my square, that obviously constitutes the single crochet, chain 3, and then 3 half double crochets all into the chain 3 space. I only want 1 square, so I do not want to increase at this point, so I will just do a slip stitch join. I can finish off my work because I've completed all the squares of my chart, pull my yarn, and if I set this down, this little rectangle that we just completed right here is a direct representation of the chart right here. We started off with this square. Here are the squares for row 2. Here are the squares for row 3. We maintained 3 squares for 4. We maintained 3 squares for 5. And then we decreased down 1 square for 6 and decreased down 1 square for 7. So that's how you can get a rectangle. Obviously, we have completed this with just a few number of stitches, but you can use this technique and apply it to a larger number of stitches and make a full blanket. If you're looking for other free patterns, please check out some of the ones that I've listed in the video notes below, all available from Red Heart Yarns. Maybe it's time that you take the next step in your corner to corner crocheting and apply this to graphgans or following a chart and changing colors. If you want to have more instructions on that, please check out the snowflake blanket right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel or the heartthrob blanket, both of which are designed by me and apply this particular technique and changing colors to get a really cool chart in the middle of your work. I hope you enjoyed this video and you will hit subscribe so that you're up to date whenever there's a new video released. Make sure you smash that like button, as my kids say, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns. Thanks! Now you know how to make corner to corner, why don't you go ahead and check out the other 2 blankets that I have videos for right here on the YouTube channel. You can make these stunning blankets for the holidays or maybe for your next baby shower. I walk you through step by step how how to do the corner to corner, how to change colors, and how to weave in your ends. Go ahead, click those links right there and choose which one you want to learn how to do next.